Okay, so there's one thing that I wanted to show you that I forgot to show you yesterday. I've got this pattern here, brocade pattern that I could find off the internet that's about as odd, and well, I don't guess it's odd, just as loud as I could get it. But anyway, I'm going to take this particular pattern and I'm going to use it as a pattern in something else. So first thing I'm going to look at is the image size, and I hold my Option Command key I down and I can see it's pretty big, 54 by 73 inches at 72 dpi. I'm going to change that resolution to 300, and it significantly drops its size down. But I need it to be smaller still, because what I'm planning on doing is using it inside of her clothing here. So let's go back to it, and I'm going to shrink it. So I'm going to select all, and I'm going to transform it by doing Command T, and I can just pull the size down. So now I've got that size. Now what I'm going to do is go under Edit and see where Define Pattern is. I always forget where this thing is. There's a Define Brush Set. Oh, that's right. I've got to make a selection of it first. So let me just, and it has to be rectangular in form. Okay, so now I can define pattern. Let me make that a little bit more refined here. So let me just hold down the Shift key and make a square. That'll work. Now define pattern, and that goes in to my pattern sets. And so that's brocade. Okay, so now I've got that. I'm going to go back into this object here, which was, if you recall, that part of her. So I'm going to duplicate this layer, and I can right-click and duplicate the layer right there. So I don't want to destroy what's happening underneath just yet, because I don't know how this is going to actually pan out. So I'm going to hold the Option and Command key down so that I can make a selection out of the objects in that layer. Then I'm going to go under Fill. And instead of using the Contents Aware or the foreground, I'm going to check a pattern. And I'm going to find the pattern that I just created that shows up there as brocade. And it's going to fill, and as you can see, it fills with that particular pattern. Let's back up just a second. So there are a number of ways that we can fill it, and it says normal, and we can make it overlay and preserve the transparency, and so it has a little bit better feel than the other one did. And then I can actually go in here and turn it on overlay in our object, or multiply, or lighten. Lighten works a little bit better than the other ones. And if we zoom in, does it actually show? No, it doesn't show the pattern. So let's just do overlay. And let's see what multiply is. Darken. I guess I'm not sure that the pattern is actually showing up. There's a little bit there that's showing up. Let's go back to normal and see. And take that off for a second. Wonder what happened here. Did it not fill? Let me do it again. So I think my pattern went bye-bye. So I did overlay. And let's try it again. There we go. That's better. Now I can see the pattern. And let's go back and change this to overlay. Doesn't show up very well, so I do darken. still doesn't quite work. I still see remnants of it over here and in here, but if I do normal, it shows up a lot more intently, and maybe I can just drop the opacity down a little bit. Yeah, that's a little bit better. So we can create patterns anywhere we like. So let's just deselect that, and let's do it on the cape. And hold the 2 Option Command down, select that particular object. Let's fill the different setting this time. Let's try color. I don't know what it'll do, but and you can see that the pattern went in there. I'm not crazy about that, so let's change it. Fill and set of color. Let's do saturation. Nope, nothing really crazy about that either. Fill one more time and do it multiply. Let's back out. So you can see the pattern is showing up with those hard lines in between. So we're going to have to let some of the pattern from beneath show through. And just so you know, you can deform this a little bit by, once again, using your transform button, Command T. And there's a little object right up here in your menu palette that you can actually push and pull objects here. So let's deselect this. I'm going to show you another technique here. Undo what I just did, deselect, and select this entire layer. So I've got the entire layer selected now. I'm going to fill with a pattern. So as you can see, now the entire layer is filled with this particular object. And the reason why I did it this way is I'm going to use the deforming pattern here to give this a little more wrinkled feel. So it conforms a little bit more to our cape or whatever you want to call it. So I'm going to make it wrap, and I'm going to pull some other objects up. And this will be over here. Pull that down. I don't know how well this will work out, but it's all an experiment. So there we go. I'm going to hit return and let that. Now I'm going to use the bottom cape. No, I'm going to use a path. Make a selection. And then select inverse. That's under here, select inverse right there. Or I used Command Shift I. Now I'm going to delete those other things. And, well, you don't know until you try, right? So I've got that. I'm going to see if multiply. Color dodge. Color dodge might not be too bad. Deselect that, and it's still doing that weird blue overlay. But that could be easily taken care of by copying the layer, copy and paste, and then taking the color overlay from here, copying that layer style, and then pasting it there. I guess it has a little bit of an effect. Let me try something else. Nope. Nope. Might as well try them all. That one is not too bad. I already tried this. I think that works out best because I can actually see the pattern in there, but it's still. Now, if I wanted to, I can do one more thing, and that would be maybe use the burn tool. And let's see if he'll show up, and he probably won't unless I change my workspace to photography. So there's my workspace, and there's the burn tool. And change my brush size here. And I'm going to take this layer. Let's go ahead and rasterize that layer. That when you rasterize the layer, it goes ahead and takes any filters that you have applied to it and rasterizes it into a digital format. So that's what I want to do. So that's that. So that ends up making it a little darker. I have a weird thing happening up here that I would probably fix, but the main thing I wanted to show you was the burn tool. So we want to burn this area right here because of maybe a shadow that was being cast. So I'm going to take burn tool again. And as you can see, it says you can do the midtones or the shadows or whatever. Let's try highlights first. And drop in some shadows there. Make the exposure a little higher. So those are the techniques that I wanted to add to your tool belt. As I said before, there are some imperfections up here that I would probably have to redo, but the technique is still there where I'm showing you how to put in a pattern and how to add a little bit of shadow in there. So there you go. Another technique to add to your tool belt. Hope that helps you out a little bit. Okay.